So let me say this gently. If money feels harder than it should right now, if you're doing your best and you still feel stuck, this isn't because you're lazy or broken. Many times it's something a little quieter, your ego. And I don't mean ego like arrogance or bragging. I mean the part of you that just doesn't want to feel small. That part of you that doesn't want to admit this isn't working. Most people don't lose money all at once. They lose it slowly. It's in small choices that don't feel harmless in the moment. You don't think, this is my ego talking, but you think, I just don't want to deal with this right now, or I'll figure it out later, or even worse, I don't want people to know that I'm struggling. And that's how it starts. So if you're being honest with yourself, you probably felt this. Keeping a car payment for too long because downsizing feels like a failure, staying in a job that you hate because leaving feels risky or even embarrassing, buying something that you can't afford just to feel normal for a minute, or sometimes even avoiding your money problems altogether because you feel like you should already understand it. And honestly, none of that makes you irresponsible, but it does make you human. So here's the difficulty. Ego doesn't cost you money up front. It puts you on a payment plan. It shows up as a little stress every month, a constant low level of anxiety, and that feeling that you're always behind even when you're trying. You don't see a receipt for it, but you just feel tired. So let me give you an image that stuck with me. Imagine carrying a backpack. At first, it's light, barely even noticeable. And every time you make a decision to protect your ego, you're putting a brick in that backpack, keeping up your self-image, avoiding a hard conversation that has financial consequences, saying yes to something that you really should have said, I can't right now. So you justify it. One brick, doesn't matter. But years later, more and more bricks end up in that backpack, and now your shoulders hurt, you're exhausted, and you don't even remember how it got so heavy in the first place. All you know is that now you're worn down. That's what ego does. It convinces you as that backpack gets heavier that this is the new normal. So when money is tight, this hits you even harder because struggling messes with how you see yourself. You start tying your worth to how much you make, how stable you look on the outside, and how financially independent you appear. So instead of fixing the core problem, now you're just managing the image. You try to look okay instead of actually being okay. And honestly, I get it. Nobody wants to feel like they're a step behind in life. And nobody really wants to admit that they're struggling with their finances. But honestly, here's the quiet truth. Ego will keep you stuck in survival mode. Ego will keep you busy, but it won't make you better. And the real turning point isn't when you earn more, but it comes when you stop needing to prove anything. It comes when you can tell yourself calmly, you know what, this isn't working, but that doesn't make me a failure. That sentence alone changes everything. Because now you can make boring choices without shame, ask better questions without feeling stupid, and you can let go of things that no longer fit. Real wealth doesn't come from looking confident. It comes from being honest about what you really need in life. So if you want something practical, something that you could use, try this. Before any financial decision, pause and ask yourself, is this going to help my financial future? Or is this serving my ego right now? And honestly, no judgment, no self-attack, just awareness. That one question can stop more bad financial decisions than any budget ever could. So let me say this clearly because you might need to hear this right now. You don't owe anyone an image. Not your family, not your friends, and definitely not strangers on the internet. But you are allowed to slow down, you're allowed to simplify your life, and you're allowed to reset without explaining yourself. And dropping ego isn't giving up, but it's finally taking off that backpack and setting the weight down. So I know this was a tough one. Nobody likes to hear about their own ego and how that's affecting their lives. But honestly, all of us have dealt with this. We make decisions based on comparisons and friends and family and other things that we think we should be doing with ourselves. But that image, we don't need to keep it up anymore. So if you like this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I talk about the psychology of money and how it affects our financial lives. I'll catch you in the next video. Talk to you soon.